Okay, boys and girls, so we're going to do our read aloud. Remember, we started reading this story at class last week, and some of you were out. So just to refresh your memories and to give the ones who were absent a little bit of background knowledge, I'm going to summarize, which means I'm going to go back and tell the most important parts. So the title of our book is Miss Beard is Weird by Dan Gutman, and this is part of a series that a lot of third graders usually like. They're usually really funny. So, just to review, there's the table of contents, tells you the chapter and the page that it starts on. So here are some of the pictures. Looks a little crazy. So here you can see some of the characters. There's AJ and Ryan, Michael, Andrea, Emily, and Neil. So you can tell a little bit about their personalities just from these pictures. So the person telling the story, the narrator's name is AJ, and we learned that his teacher's name is Mr. Granite, and we learned that their school was having financial trouble. That means they were struggling with money, but Mr. Klutz, the school principal, said that he had found a way to solve their money problems. And it turns out that the teachers were going to be on a reality TV show called The Real Teachers of Elementary School. And so all the kids and teachers are really excited because they're going to get to be on TV. And the person filming the TV show is Miss Beard. So there's a picture of all the little friends. And we know that Andrea calls AJ Arlo by his real name, and he doesn't like that. So Miss Beard arrived at the school, and there's a picture of her. And remember, she calls everybody baby. And there they are, they started filming, and they came to Mr. Granite's class first. And remember, he was very nervous, and he could hardly say a sentence. He kept saying, and freezing. But Andrea saved him. She raised her hand and gave this big, long spiel about the Civil War. And it made Mr. Granite look a little bit better. And then remember, she smiled at the camera so everybody would see her and know that was her. And here we are. We're on chapter 4, Reality is Boring. My parents let me stay up late on Monday to watch The Real Teachers of Elementary School. It was cool to see all of us on TV, even if I had to look at Andrea's big face hogging the screen the whole time. The first thing that happened on Tuesday morning was that Miss Beard rushed into school with her megaphone and told us we had to take a meeting. Have an assembly. I had to sit next to Little Miss Perfect again. I have some good news and some bad news, Miss Beard announced when everyone was seated. The good news is that 10 million people tuned in to see The Real Teachers of Elementary School last night. Wow, we all said, which is Mom upside down. What's the bad news? Asked Mr. Klutz. Well, the bad news is that 9 million of them turned the show off after 5 minutes, said Miss Beard. What? We all asked. Why? Because it was boring, that's why, Miss Beard told us. Nobody wants to watch polite, well-behaved kids being taught by excellent teachers. They can see that at their own school. I thought the show was supposed to be real, said Miss Jaffe. Isn't that why they call it a reality show? Let me tell you a little secret, said Miss Beard. Reality is boring. People don't want to watch reality. They want to be amazed. We've got to show them something they've never seen before. We've got to blow their minds. I thought you told us to act normal, said Mr. Granite. Look, said Miss Beard, normal is boring. If you folks can't spice things up, The Real Teachers of Elementary School is going to be canceled. Canceled? Mr. Klutz looked all panicked. Does that mean we won't get the money you promised? That's right, Chickie Baby. Stop calling me Chickie Baby, said Mr. Klutz. If the show is canceled, there goes the music and art programs again, moaned Miss Hannah, our art teacher. There goes the water fountains, moaned Miss Patty. And there goes the toilet paper, moaned Miss Lazar, our custodian. Hey, lighten up, Miss Beard said. I know how we can make the real teachers of elementary school into a hit. I have a plan. Trust me. Show business is in my blood. She should go to the doctor. What's the plan then? Asked Mr. Klutz. We need to save the show. People like winners and losers, Miss Beard said as she got out a large shopping bag. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to divide a group of teachers into 2 teams. One team will wear hats with antlers on them. They will be called the Musketeers. The other team will wear these hot dog hats, and they will be called the Hot Dog Heads. Miss Beard pulled a bunch of hats out of her bag. I am not wearing a silly hat, announced Mr. Loring, our music teacher. Well, then you can't be on the show, said Miss Beard. Where's my silly hat? Asked Mr. Loring. Okay, said Miss Beard. When I call your name, come up on the stage. The Musketeers are Miss Leakey, Miss Hannah, Mr. Loring, Mr. Mackey, Miss Holly, and Mrs. Yonkers. Come on down. We all cheered as the Musketeers ran up on stage and high-fived each other. The Hot Dog Heads are Miss Rupee, Miss Small, Mr. Docker, Mr. Granite, Miss Coco, and Miss Laney. Come on down. The Hot Dog Heads fist-bumped each other as they ran up on the stage. They all put on their silly hats. The cameramen filmed everything. The Musketeers stink, shouted Miss Laney. The Hot Dog Heads suck eggs, shouted Miss Holly. I am so glad to see you teachers are getting to the spirit of competition, said Miss Beard. It's not nice to call people names, Andrea said to me. They're not setting a good example for children. Can you possibly be more boring? I told Andrea. Miss Beard clapped her hands to get everyone's attention. Over the next few days, she said, the Musketeers and Hot Dog Heads will compete in a series of events. A panel of judges will help decide who is the winner, and the people at home will be able to vote too. And that's when Little Miss Perfect got up to ask a question. Excuse me? Andrea said. But what does this have to do with education? Shouldn't we be learning things in school? Boo! Sit down! Everybody was hooting at Andrea, even some of the teachers. Nana nana boo boo on her. It was the greatest moment of my life. Don't worry, Miss Beard said. You're going to be learning plenty. And here's the best part. One by one, the teachers will be eliminated until we're left with just one winner. That teacher will get the grand prize. A fabulous, all expenses paid. And so here's the Musketeers. Here are the Hot Dog Heads. A fabulous, all expense paid vacation to anywhere in the world and a year's supply of pork sausages. I love pork sausages, said Miss Leakey. That reminds me, Miss Beard said as she looked into one of the cameras. Folks, do you like pork sausages? I sure do. And when I want a pork sausage, I reach for Porky's pork sausages. They're the best pork sausages in the world, made with the finest pork and no artificial ingredients. So when you want a pork sausage, reach for Porky's. Okay, let the games begin.